So even though we're in the midst of an economic uncertainty right now, I still get a lot of questions from potential investors around the Boston area of whether it's a good time to still house hack a multifamily around Boston. Now, a lot of people still realize the benefits of house hacking, right? You can figure out a way to own or occupy and figure out a place to live while still investing in real estate. So what I thought I would do in this video is talk about whether you should want to still house hack a multifamily in Boston, and if so, the things I would be looking for if I were gonna be buying a deal today. So with that, let's get at it. What's going on, guys? My name is Lior and welcome back to my channel. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of the video, super quickly, guys, two things. Number one, if this is your first time on my channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I'm still putting out videos on a weekly basis on this channel talking about Boston, the neighborhoods, thoughts on buying and selling, and everything in between. And number two, guys, if you guys are thinking about doing anything, absolutely anything with real estate around the Boston area, whether it's buying, like house hacking, right? Or selling, investing, whatever it may be. You know, me and my team still get weekly calls from you guys watching my videos, and I absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making any sort of move, hit us up and we will definitely help you reach your goals. So let's get right into the meat and potatoes and talk about house hacking, right? And the first question I want to tackle is, you know, is it still a good time to house hack, right? Should you still be looking to house hack right now? And, you know, my answer is still very much a resounding yes, right? As you guys may know, I'm an active real estate investor myself, you know, and I'm still continuing to buy up property. And I think it's an interesting time in the market, right? Because you can acquire properties around Boston while getting usually about a 5 to 10% discount to market values from last year, right? So, you know, if you're thinking about it from a quick flip perspective, I would say, you know what, that's a little bit of a tricky situation. But, you know, if you are a long-term buy and hold investor, right, someone that's got a longer-term vision, you know, I think now is absolutely the time to get in because you can get a pretty good discount, as I said, 5 to 10%. And what I would also do is prioritize really strong locations, right? Get into really good locations, and then that way you can sit on these good locations over the next couple of years at a discounted price, and I think you're gonna do really well. And house hacking kind of is best of both worlds, right? You can buy into a good location, then you can actually live in that location and invest at the same time. Now, obviously in Boston, there's different types of markets, right? You know, you can still go into more established markets, and that could be more of your Somervilles, your Jamaica Plains, you know, maybe East Bostons of the world. Or you can still look at more, you know, opportunistic markets that are still getting developed and have, you know, and are changing as we speak. Those would be more of like your Malden, Everett's, Revere's, Chelsea's, Dorchester's of the world, right? So you could still select between the two different types of markets in terms of which one fits both where you want to live and where you want to invest. So if you were thinking, okay, you know what, that makes sense to me, you know, I get that I can get a little bit of a discount, and then as long as I sit on these long term, I can do really well on them. So what should you be looking for if you're actually going to go ahead today and proceed? Well, first of all, is you have to make sure your numbers are super tight, right? So if you're going to be doing any sort of, you know, analysis on potential house hack, make sure you run your numbers really well. Account for all potential operating expenses, right? It's not just your mortgage and taxes, right? As some blogs or online posts may tell you, right? You have to account for a lot of operating expenses when you're house hacking a multifamily, right? You want to account for vacancy, maintenance, repairs, utilities, pest contracts, snow removal, landscaping, right? You want to make sure you account for all these numbers because really analyzing the deal properly is absolutely key, particularly in this environment. Now, if you don't know how to do that, make sure you reach out to me and I will share with you my spreadsheet and we can go over how to actually run these numbers. But it is absolutely critical that you run very tight numbers. The second thing to think about too is when buying and potentially buying, you know, a house hack today, you know, and when investing in multifamily in general, you want to make sure you're looking at the physical attributes of the property. And what you want to do today, particularly, is make sure that there's no negative physical attributes of the property that could potentially hurt you if the market for some reason continues to go down or the rental market gets a little bit weaker, so that you don't incur too much vacancy. And I'll give you guys some examples, right? I recently walked a multifamily property in Cambridge that I was interested in myself, right? And even though Cambridge is a great location, if you guys, as you guys probably know, if you're from around the area, the property had really low ceiling heights, like I think maybe 6.5, maybe definitely under 7 feet set ceiling heights. The layouts were a little bit wonky, right? They kind of had like long, skinny hallways. Living rooms were really tight, and I just did not feel that it was a good overall physical product, even though the location was good, right? And my concern was, if the rental market gets weak for whatever reason, that would be the first kind of apartment to stay vacant for a longer time or really take a haircut in terms of the kinds of rents it can command. So, looking at things like ceiling heights, layouts, any other sort of deficiencies that, could make it less attractive to tenants or other buyers in the future is going to be absolutely key, right? And honestly, that's kind of the key to success in general in investing in an area like Boston, right? I mean, it's obviously an expensive market. We're not playing a huge cash flow game here. What we're really doing is buying quality locations and quality assets, right? And if you mess up on either one of them, you're not going to do well. So you have to buy in a good location, and you have to buy a good asset that's going to be in demand over a long period of time, right? So again, making sure those physical attributes are really tight, that it's a really good product that can withstand any sort of market shifts is absolutely crucial. So hopefully that helps, guys. Those are the tips I have for you guys if you're going to continue to look for house hacks today. Again, I think there's absolutely a play to be made. You can get a little bit of a discount. Just make sure you hold on to the asset a little bit longer so you can ride any sort of uncertainty that we may have upcoming in the markets. But I still think there's plenty of opportunity. You just have to know where and how to look for. So let me know if you guys have any questions.